I saw the city through the television viewing screen.
Not quite the city you left, is it?
It's unbelievable. Just acres of twisted steel and fallen stone. The skeletons of giant buildings lying across one another. Rust. It's like the end of the world.
Not quite. Perhaps not even the end of civilization. Man is an adaptable creature.
But are we winning?
Nobody wins a war anymore, Miss Randall. We're holding our own, and we hope when the end comes, there will be peace on earth forever.
But how did it start? We were trying so hard to prevent war back in 1950. In fact, one reason for my trip in time was to get information that might help us keep war from breaking out.
Lieutenant French, why didn't we think of that? If the world of 1950 knows the truth, maybe it won't happen. Either they can prevent the accident that started all this back in 1955, or at least they'll know the truth when it does happen.
Of course, sir. Mr. Andrews can take the true story back with him.
What story? I don't follow you.
Fred, you asked how the war started.
Yes?
It started because of an accident and an over-jittery world.
Yes, my boy, a horrible irony.
Fred, now listen. During the 1950s, the government established a special experimental base in the heart of the Arizona desert, in a little town called Red Rock.
Red Rock, Arizona?
Yes, that's right. The first space rocket was put into production there, and work was pushed on the problem of fuel.
During the course of experiments, an explosion occurred, late in 1955.
It was a terrific blast, wiped out the whole base. The first reports were sabotage, that the enemy had blown up the base because they were afraid we were on the verge of getting space flight.
Before the truth became known, our newspapers screamed for retaliation. The enemy became panicky and decided to strike first. And phase one of the war was on. When we discovered the blast was really an accident, it was too late to stop.
That's horrible, sir. War, because everybody was just too jittery.
But it doesn't have to be. Don't you see, if you take back the true story before it happens, it won't have to happen. Now look, I've assembled a dozen books for you. The information in them will enable your scientists to prevent that blast at Red Rock Base.
Now, Fred, you've got to get the facts back to them. You've just got to.
I will. Believe me, Professor Malcolm and I will see to it this war doesn't start in our time.
Good. Now come along. You've only 5 minutes more.
This is the exact spot where I was lying when I came through the time dimension, Colonel Phillips.
You've only 30 seconds more, Andrews. Remember, impress the lesson of the accident at Red Rock on the world. These books, hold them close to you so they'll go back with you.
Yes, sir. I've got a good grip on them.
Fred.
Yes, Emily?
Just good luck.
Thanks. Maybe I'll pay another trip to 2050.
I hope so.
It's 1600, and Professor Malcolm is on time.
Look, Colonel. It's getting transparent. It's disappearing.